I want to see speed. Everybody fly around to the ball. That's what I need him to say. Them boys move fast.
Roethlisberger sacked! Jones and molded. Tannehill being pushed. Touchdown! Titans!
I'm Mike Keith, welcoming you to the Mike Vrabel Show. A little different this week. We're in the BetMGM studio here at Nissan Stadium, and that's because it's a short week. The Titans play the San Francisco 49ers right here Thursday night, roughly 48 hours away, 7:20 kickoff. We look forward to having you join us for this big matchup with the 8-6 49ers for Thursday night football. Because it's a short week, Mike Vrabel preparing the team, so General Manager John Robinson has been kind enough to sit in with us. John, thanks so much for joining us on the Mike Vrabel Show tonight on what is an unusually busy week.
Yeah, these short weeks are always tough, Mike, and our coaches are busy preparing a game plan. You know, it's a new opponent. You know, we hadn't played these guys in a while, so they're in the film rooms, they're in the meeting rooms, coming up with a game plan to help us win.
I guess the good fortune in this is unfamiliar opponent, short week, but you are at home.
We are at home. That's good. It's always good to be back in Nissan, be around our fans, make the opposing team travel. It's a long trip for those guys, so you know we got to use that to our advantage.
Let's take a look at the six-pack from Sunday's game at Pittsburgh. Some good plays in all areas for the Titans. We begin with the longest punt return of the year, Chester Rogers.
Yeah, great job by Chester here, fielding it and getting north and south. You know, he gets upfield, lets the block set up, does a good job of protecting the football. He beat the punter there, cuts back across, continues to get upfield, secured the football, which was really important, and really put us in advantageous field position for the offense.
Titans actually began that drive at the Pittsburgh 25-yard line and were able to move it down and get a touchdown on a 1-yard sneak from Ryan Tannehill. Here's the play that set it up, a third down completion from Tannehill to Jeremy McNichols.
Yeah, nice job by Quisenberry there, running the defensive end, you know, past the launch point for Ryan. Good job by Ryan avoiding, stepping up in the pocket, getting it down to Jeremy. Heck of an effort by Cody Hollister coming over there, throwing a block, trying to spring an extra yard or two. Really big play for us to get it down there inside the 5.
McNichols finishing the game with 51 total yards. Still first quarter, defense gets into the act. Rookie Naquan Jones with a quarterback sack.
Yeah, nice job by Naquan there, getting some penetration. You know, we talk about pad level, playing low, getting on the edges of these interior players, these guards when you're rushing. Really good job by him by keeping his pads down, getting on the edge of the guard, getting into the pocket for the sack.
Naquan Jones on the year now with 2.5 sacks. Moving forward, we see an effort here from Deontay Foreman. He rushed for 108 yards. He also had 2 catches for 27. This one went for 18.
Yeah, really good job there of you know, Ryan surveying the defense. They kind of opened the umbrella there on the coverage and left Deontay open in the flat. Nice job of looking the ball in, catching it, getting north and south, finishing the run. I like how he finished the run there and tried to run through the defender and get a couple extra yards. Big play for us to keep the ball moving.
He's an underrated receiver, isn't he, John?
Yeah, he catches the ball really well. He does a really nice job at practice, Mike. Looks the ball into his hands. You know, he rarely has drops in practice, and he's a dependable target that Ryan trusts.
Tennessee Titans thrilled to have Bud Dupree back. Ben Roethlisberger not so thrilled to see him again on this play.
Yeah, really good get off by Bud there, getting upfield. You know, they tried to pull the guard around there to protect, and we're going to move the pocket a little bit, but Bud got there before the guard could get there on him. Great job with his pad level, great acceleration. Nice job, plowing through Najee, trying to pick him up there in the blitz pickup, and a good job of hanging on. Ben Roethlisberger, he's a big guy, he's hard to tackle, and Bud certainly knows that, having played in Pittsburgh. So good job of him getting him on the ground.
Pittsburgh gained only 35 yards on the ground. The reason? Efforts like this one for the Titans defense. Rookie Elijah Molden with the finish.
Yeah, Najee's a big back. I mean, he's having an outstanding season. But I thought our defense, they really worked at swarming to the football. We talk about, setting an edge, building a wall up front, and then swarming to the football. I think that's a great play right there. Showcasing the defensive mindset of trying to get as many hats to the football as possible to get in on a tackle.
More John Robinson when the Mike Vrabel Show continues as we preview San Francisco. Our first look at the Niners next. After 8 games, many people had written the San Francisco 49ers off. They were 3-5. But as they hit town for Thursday night's game, they're now 8-6. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, and their offense has kicked it into gear. John Robinson sitting in for Mike Vrabel tonight. Talk to me about quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and what he's been doing over the last few weeks for the Niners.
Yeah, he's really playing good football, Mike. I mean, he's distributing the football. They've got a lot of playmakers over there on offense. The run game that they have, they lean heavily on that run game. There's a lot of motions, a lot of shifts that they do to try to keep defenses off balance, create space for their targets. And he's been good. He's thrown, 18 touchdowns. He's done a really good job of taking care of the football. He's got a high completion rate. I think he's over 67%. And he's still mobile. I mean, he's a mobile player. He can get out of trouble and put himself in a good position to get the ball downfield.
And you touched on it a little bit. He has a lot of weapons. Have the Titans had a chance to see an offense this year that features more weapons than what the 49ers will bring to town?
Yeah, I don't know, Mike. They've got a lot of them. They've got a good stable of running backs there. Juszczyk, the fullback, he's probably one of the top fullbacks in the league. Wilson's running well for him. Mitchell may be back, who was off to a great start as a rookie. Ayuk's making plays for him at receiver and at punt returner. And the two big timers there are George Kittle, certainly a tight end, probably the best tight end in the National Football League, and Deebo Samuel. This guy's electric with the football in his hands. Played over at South Carolina. They play him at running back some. He plays slot. He plays outside. Just really dangerous football player with the ball in his hands.
Their defense, big, attacking front. Nick Bosa is the leading story because he has 15 quarterback sacks on the year. But this defense is a lot more than just Nick Bosa, right?
It is. I mean, it's a stout front seven, Mike. You touched on Nick and what he's done there, and he's got a lot of tricks as a pass rusher. He's got outstanding get off. He can rush with power. Armstead's a long, disruptive player on the inside. DJ Jones is plugged in at nose for him when Kinlaw went down. Ed becomes a speed rusher off the outside that's really disruptive. Fred Warner, I think, he's got 3 fumble recoveries, so he's around the football a lot. Both safeties are really involved. Tart, he's got an outstanding skill set. And Josh Norman, they picked him up, the veteran corner. I think he's caused 7 fumbles. We got to be aware of that when we catch a ball on the outside. But it's an attacking style defense. There's a lot of playmakers on that side of the football.
What should we expect from Richard Hightower's San Francisco special teams unit?
Well, they're fast and they're aggressive. They've got Gould at kicker. It seems like he's been kicking for 100 years. He's one of the better kickers to ever put a foot on the ball. But they're aggressive on the cover units. Like I said, Ayuk, he's the primary punt returner. Hasty's a kickoff returner. He's a compact back out of Baylor, fast, explosive. He also covers kicks. Their linebackers are involved in the cover units down there pretty good. Werner, a tight end who played at Georgia, he's in there on a lot of the coverage plays. So it's an aggressive special teams unit.
Overall, we take a look in our next segment at how the Titans win this football game with our Nissan Keys. John Robinson, our special guest tonight on the Mike Vrabel Show. Stay with us. Tennessee, San Francisco Thursday night at Nissan Stadium. How do the Titans win this football game and get to 10-5 overall? Well, John Robinson's going to give us the Nissan keys to victory. Number one, stop the run.
Yeah, that's going to be a key point for us, Mike. You know, we touched on it a little bit earlier about how they like to run the football. They build their play action pass game off running the football. They do it from a lot of different formations. A lot of different people are involved in the run game. You know, whether it's the receiver Samuel, Juszczyk, Wilson, Mitchell, the running back, ever how they build it. There's a ton of motions and shifts, so we've got to do a really good job of shutting down the run game.
Key number 2 in our Nissan keys: take care of the football. That seems pretty obvious, but it's vitally important.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory there, Mike. You know, you don't take care of the football in this league. It's hard to win football games, and unfortunately, we've come up on the short end of that a couple times this year, and we've got to get back to playing stylistically the way that we know how to play, and that's at the front of that is taking care of the football when we've got it offensively.
Nissan key number 3 is about field position and utilizing the return game to take advantage of good field position.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly paid a dividend for us in the Pittsburgh game when you can get a return like that, really spark the offense, and conversely limiting the return game for the other opponent. They got 2 pretty good returners in Ayuk and Hasty back there that can really go. And we've got to do a good job of maximizing, you know, that phase of the game and creating those extra yards offensively or for our offense and putting our defense in an advantageous position as well by limiting what they do.
Those are our Nissan keys to beating San Francisco on Thursday night at Nissan Stadium. Now we shift to Mike Vrabel's favorite part of the show. It's Delta Dental's Can You Guess This Titan? John Robinson pinch hitting for the head coach tonight. He gets the opportunity to continue what has been a very good hot streak when you have guessed it on this show. I don't want to say you're better than the head coach, but your record is. So let's take a look and see if John Robinson can guess this Titan. As we go to break, do you have an idea? Don't say yet. You got a clue? Feel good about it?
Maybe. Small one, Mike.
More coming up on the Mike Vrabel Show from the BetMGM studio at Nissan Stadium. Stay tuned. Short week, and so Mike Vrabel is not with us. General Manager John Robinson pinch hitting. Mike Vrabel's biggest regret is that he is not here to play Delta Dental's Can You Guess This Titan? John Robinson, I'm turning to you and I'm asking, can you guess this Tennessee Titan based on that fantastic smile?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it was the mustache or the slight Michael Strahan gap he's got there, but it's Amani Hooker. I mean, I could guess that one 100 times out of 100.
Oh, Amani Hooker, number 37, paired at safety with Kevin Byard. He is a guy that continues to show up. Thought he had a takeaway on Sunday with a big hit. Nearly had an interception in the game against Jacksonville. Hooker is this close to making some big things happen, John.
He is. I mean, he's a guy that comes to work every day and works on the details. He's intelligent. He's a good teammate. Enjoys playing. He plays hard. You touched on it. He had a great hammer in the Pittsburgh game. The ball came out. We just happened to have a penalty on it that negated the fumble recovery. He's around the football. He's smart. He's got good range. He's a good tackler. You know, he's an important part of our football team.
He also claims that he is the best basketball player on the Titans roster. As a man who evaluates talent and knows all the facts and figures, is that a boast or do you buy that?
Well, I mean, I would say probably, Mike, if you were to poll every single player, 85% of them are going to say that they're the best basketball.
They're the best, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way they're wired. And they're all, you know, as good as, you know, they should be playing on the Lakers or the Bulls or somebody like that if they weren't playing pro football. So, but he's a good athlete. I would certainly probably put him up there. I don't know if he can shoot or not, but it seems to be the name of the game in basketball.
Well, we're glad Amani Hooker's here, playing well for the Titans, and they need to see him have a big, big game on Thursday night against these talented 49ers specialists. who can make things happen. John, thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
When we come back, Amy Wells and a very special Titans file. It's the big guy, and I'm not talking about Santa Claus. Stay tuned. When things are going well for the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel is very good. He may be even better when things aren't going so well. And that's the reason that bad times don't seem to last long around this franchise. Mike Vrabel is about more than just X's and O's and calling plays. He's about people. He gains their trust, he gains their respect, and because of that, they give him all that they have. Since he's not here, we're going to brag on him a little bit. Amy Wells with the Titans Files about the namesake of this show, Mike Vrabel.
Hey, LaShawn, just don't take the cheese, right? If the ball comes out, then let's all get some depth.
When Mike Vrabel set out to tackle his 4th season as head coach of the Tennessee Titans, he had no idea what was in store. Sure, he knew there would be some protocol changes due to COVID-19's continued presence. Yes, he was aware the Titans were facing the 13th most difficult schedule in the National Football League. But one thing that he did not anticipate, that no head coach can anticipate, is injuries.
Injuries happen. There's nothing we can do about it. If there was a way to stop injuries, every single team in the NFL would do it. How many we've had this year is just a super unfortunate. But Vrabel every single week harps on the team keys, puts guys in there. Our coaches do a great job of, if we have our whole starting offensive line, putting more in the offensive line. We have our whole receiver core, putting more in them, and plugging and playing guys and teaching them the game plan to where they know what's going on and can go play fast and aggressive. I think Vrabel and this whole entire coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for that.
The Titans have persevered throughout the season and overcome adversity time and time again. No matter the opponent, no matter the obstacle, the Titans are always ready for the challenge. Why is that? Well, ask anyone at St. Thomas Sports Park and they'll tell you it's because Mike Vrabel always has a plan.
Incredible leadership and consistency. He paints a great picture for us of what it's going to take to win games and then holds us to that standard, and that's all you could ever ask for out of a head coach is tell me what you need from me to help this team win and then hold me accountable to doing it. And he certainly does those things.
We got to win. We got to get some pressure.
He does a great job giving us a game plan and explaining, throughout the week, what they're asking for us to do, depending on position. And he does a great job of giving us tips and stuff, keys and stuff that can help us be productive. And then just overall, the atmosphere in the room has been great with him leading the way.
Putting together a winning game plan is a crucial part of the head coaching job. But to be a great head coach, that takes a little bit more than just X's and O's. The ability to establish relationships, to earn trust, to develop a brotherhood. That is a rare skill set that separates the good coaches, really the good teams, from the great ones.
I think the biggest thing that I see is, he cares about the guys. Like, he truly is genuinely caring about each individual player on this team, whatever their role might be, whatever situation they're going through. And I think when you care about guys, that's when you start to earn their trust, earn their respect, and ultimately they're willing to do whatever for you, right? If I know somebody's got my back regardless of what's going on, I'm going to do everything I can to make him right and be there for him and do what he's asking me to do.
Honestly, I just think that, the brotherhood that he creates, as obviously being a former player, he just has a different level of understanding how things look and how things should work. Not only just that, but also he does a great job of every single week preparing us for every single team. Because, obviously we have our team keys, effort and finish, all that good stuff. But just be able to break every team down and make us confident going to the game that, hey, if we just accomplish these things, we'll win the game. But he has a lot of great qualities, honestly. But I think the brotherhood, the fact that he played 14 years, it's so easy to buy into what he's saying because if he's done it and I want to play a long time, I'm going to do exactly what he tells me to do.
I appreciate Coach Berry just for everything. I know this is a business, and sometimes you don't want to get emotionally attached or tied with someone, because it's a business side of it. But, man, I appreciate him so much. And people like that, I think no matter however this business may go, I think forever I'll be a friend of his and he'll be a friend of mine. But I appreciate him so much for just opening this door, just listening, trying to help me. It doesn't go unnoticed with me, so he's definitely family in my book.
You see why there's no way we could run that when he's sitting right here, but it's true. That's why he's already won 40 games, only his 4th year as the Titans head coach. He's looking for 41 in 48 hours, the Titans and the 49ers. 7:20 Thursday night at Nissan Stadium. Join us on 104.5 The Zone at 6 for Titans Countdown with Amy Wells and Rhett Bryan. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.